All right, everybody, we're going to, in this demonstration, talk about using Google Calendar, and specifically we're going to focus on organizing schoolwork with task lists. When we do that, we're going to go over to our Google account. Now, we assume, obviously, we've created our Google account. We are in our calendar, which if you're not, you click on this little icon up here, and you've got your different parts of your Google account, and we're going to focus on calendar. So if you're over in the Drive, just for example, we're going to go ahead and click on calendar. So now we're in the calendar and it defaults to the weekly view. Now before we get into actually adding a task list, you have different views here. You have a day view. As you can see, you get real specific hour by hour. We have a weekly view. And again, your time is over here, and then you have Sunday through Saturday. You have a month view, which I like a lot because it gives you a big snapshot of different months. And I like using the mouse wheel to go back and forth. You can also use the arrows here as well. Okay, then you have 4 days at a time. And then you have an agenda, which I personally don't like very much, but if that works for you, then fine. So I'm going to go back to my monthly view. And I'm going to click on the Today button, which will take me right to today, which happens to be October 8th. Now, in order to create the task list that we're looking for, in order to organize our schoolwork, so especially for assignments. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over to My Calendars. We're going to click on the My Calendars button over here on the left side. And you can see we have a couple different things going on. We're going to click on the Tasks button and watch what happens. We have a task list that pops up on the right side. So let's say, for example, we have a math class, which most people do. So I'm going to click over here, and I'm going to say Math HW for homework. Okay, and I'm just going to click Enter, and then I am going to click on Math Homework, and I'm going to click the little arrow. And when that arrow comes or drops down, I have two things I can do. I can put notes and I can put a due date. Well, I'm going to put a due date for tomorrow. So I click on the little calendar icon. I click on October 9th, and you can see it shows up right here. Okay. Then I'm going to click on notes, and I'm going to say page 45, 1 through 25. Whoops. And we'll say odd. So that's my assignment. And I'm going to click on Back to List, and you can see that not only is it here in my calendar, but it also shows up over here in a task list. Okay? Now let's say I also have a paper that's due next Tuesday. Okay? So let's go ahead and add another task. I just click down here, and I'm going to say English paper. Of course, it helps if I spell it right. Right mouse click English. There we go. And I'm going to click on the little arrow to give it some detail. I'm going to make this due next Tuesday the 13th. And then my notes will be check outline with partner. Okay, so that's a little, let's say that I have a study partner and I just need to check the outline with that person. So I'm going to back to list, and now I have two things in my list. Okay, so you can see on the calendar it actually shows me shows me a little checkbox here, and what's cool about that is if let's say I look at my calendar, say, okay, I've got this due tomorrow, so and when I'm done, I can just go ahead and click the checkbox, and it automatically checks that off over there and crosses it off. And same thing if I do the English paper, and then if I say, oh, wait a minute, I'm not done with that, I can uncheck it, and there you go. Let's say I'm done with my math homework, so that's cool. I can go ahead and delete that crossed off bunch there. Okay. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. Let me go back there. Okay, so I can cross that off. I actually deleted the wrong one. You can actually just cross them off. Actually, that's probably the best thing to do is just cross them off. And then you can do you can change the order of them. You can print the task list if you want. You can move it up, move it down. So there's lots of different things. You can sort it by due date. So there's lots of different things you can do. So I would suggest you go ahead and create some options for yourself, or some assignments, I should say, for yourself. So you can go ahead and get yourself organized. And you can always go back in and edit that as well if you need to, just like that. Okay. So that is how we create a task list and cross them off, which is really, really nice. One thing, too, before I end this tutorial, I don't know if you noticed, I just clicked and dragged this. Let's say I realize that my science homework is actually not due until next Wednesday. I can click and I can drag this, and all of a sudden that changes my due date automatically for me. So that's a nice thing, too. You can just click and drag this wherever you need it, and that works out well. Okay, so that is how we deal with organizing schoolwork with our task lists.